Welcome to the Brand Led Podcast. We're your hosts, Kane Baker
and Lisa D'Andrea,
co-founders of the branding studio, Baker Creative.
We're on a mission to help you gain clarity in your brand and fulfillment in your work life. From strategy to visuals and beyond, we're arming you with bite-sized branding insights to help you build and grow a brand-led business.
Welcome to another episode of Brand Led.
Welcome. Today, we're introducing a new segment called Trending, where we're going to be unpacking a current consumer trend and discussing how you can use it to fuel your brand strategy.
So today's conversation is going to be focused on self-care. So Lisa, let's start off by defining what self-care is.
Absolutely. So I think most people probably have an understanding of what it is, and maybe they've seen articles and Instagram posts floating around about practicing self-care. But basically, for anyone who's not familiar, it's about taking action to look after your own physical, mental, and emotional health.
Yeah, all the practices that help you manage stress and maintain your health and well-being,
Yeah.
really.
So things like exercising, meditating, getting outside.
Better sleep.
Yeah, even building better boundaries and
Mm,
relationships with people, things
yeah.
like that.
So obviously self-care has been around for, a very long time. But why do you think in the last 5 years there's been this, rise in people talking about the subject?
There's quite a few factors at play, I think. Um, and I think one of them is definitely there's this sentiment of distrust kind of floating around established institutions, which includes the medical industry.
Mm,
And I suppose in the past, you'd go to the doctor and they'd tell you your diagnosis, and then you'd kind of just accept that's what it was and take the medication and whatever else the doctor
yeah.
told you. But I think now people are a bit more questioning of health professionals. Probably because maybe they have access to Google. They've read 10 articles before they've even gone to the doctor.
Mm,
But also, I think because there's a rise of alternative practitioners and healing modalities, there's also people. Gwyneth Paltrow is probably the poster woman for the kind of alternative world of healing as well. So there's this kind of like alternative therapies and things that people can kind of turn to if they don't kind of believe or trust their doctor as well.
yeah, and there's a lot of patients who are disheartened when they have a condition or pain that they're told is unexplainable or that it's all in their head. And there's this group of people now out there that's dismissed by the GP, so they're looking for other ways to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, and I suppose the other big factor that affected, the whole world in 2020 was COVID. And I think during that time, a lot of people were a little bit afraid to go to the doctor because they were just scared they were going to catch something,
Mm.
coronavirus, from the doctor surgery.
Yeah, it was all about staying ultra healthy and keeping the immunity, right up there.
Yeah. So I suppose all those kind of factors are kind of culminating to encourage more people to take control of their own self care and definitely not as a substitute for medical attention. I don't think it's that. I think it's just a way to avoid needing to go to the doctor in the first place.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that while many forms of self-care are free, there's many brands selling things to help you care for yourself a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, mattress companies selling better
Better sleep,
sleep.
yeah.
Yeah. And, athleisure brands like Lululemon helping you to stay grounded in comfier leggings.
Supplement brands helping you own the day,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, one way self care is often framed is as an opportunity to be a better version of yourself. And that desire to be your best self is a belief that many people, I think, hold now. Um, give your body the right food so you can go out and crush the day, or, meditate so you can be a better parent, or take this nootropic supplement so you can think clearly all day.
Do you think in some cases self-care almost leans into this, that hustle culture, very Gary V like give me my coffee or I can't function or Silicon Valley perform at your best or your peak, that
Yeah.
sort of thinking?
Yeah, it's kind of that culture where, people work 80-hour weeks and they kind of wear it around like a badge of honor, like I've done 80-hour weeks and not as good as me because you haven't worked
I
as
feel I
much.
feel like we did that at the start of our business a little bit.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
kind of the fast track to burnout and
yeah, and I think that lifestyle is quite contradictory to the idea of self-care in
yeah.
general.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think there's a difference between saying, "Hey, here's something to improve your wellness so that you can do more," instead of, "Hey, here's something to improve your wellness because you deserve to feel good and be your best."
Yeah.
And I think, brands like Moon Juice really fall into that latter camp.
Moon juice?
Yeah, they sell like a whole range of products to improve energy, immunity, brain function,
Oh, I
lots
like
of
the
like
name.
supplements. Yeah. But it's not so you can really like tick off your to-do list or you can get more hours out of the day or anything like that. It's just so you can be your best self.
What about the Hims brand? It's got that sentiment of feeling good, feeling confident, and it's all about being your best self.
Yeah, that's a really interesting brand. Maybe one we can unpack for brands we
Brands
love.
we love, yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose that's one lens of self-care, the idea of, optimization. But then there's also this idea of self-care as more of a ritualistic experience
Yeah.
that you deserve a moment to yourself out of your busy day.
Yeah, I think a lot of spas and beauty products tap into this kind of idea. It's like, hey, here's your 10-step beauty routine with scents in the specific order. And it becomes a sacred moment in a busy day for many people.
Yeah, I think one interesting, fairly new addition to this version of self care are women's sexual health products like vibrators, which have become this new tool for self care and wellness. And, taking that moment to be present.
Yeah, it's gone from really taboo to part of a wellness routine, really.
Yeah, and it's all kind of fueled by switching the narrative around it. And I think brands like Normal do this really well. So now the third and final lens of the self-care trend are brands that promote looking after yourself as a way to protect yourself against something undesirable. So like your health problems, maybe aging, putting on
Yeah.
weight, those sorts of things.
Yeah, as we were discussing at family dinner last week, there's this never-ending number of daily threats we've been told to look out for, and they're going to get you, kind of thing. It's like what we put into our bodies, like sugar, gluten, dairy.
Yeah, and also, not just that, but what we put on our bodies as well. People are now fearful of the
Mm,
chemicals and toxins inside personal care products,
yeah,
and then there's this whole host of threats to our health outside our
the
bodies
blue
as well.
lights, the sun, the pollution, kind of.
Yeah, even things like EMFs,
Mm,
mold, parasites. There's just so many things
so
to be
many things.
fearful of. There's also threats to our mental health as well, like stress and too much time online.
No wonder anxiety's up.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose it's creating this environment of fear, which I suppose can be quite effective in triggering action, but it can also create some extreme behavior. One example of this is orthorexia, where people become obsessed with healthy eating. It might not sound like a terrible condition, but depending on what a person's view of healthy is, it can really limit their diet and affect their health. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Well, it's like the hustle and grind sentiment. It's not really self-care anymore.
yeah, exactly. So, I suppose it's that fine line. You can use those aggressors like, the sun damage and get your moisturizer or whatever to put on your face or your sunblock or your SPF to put on to protect yourself against that. But then there's also that fine line where people can become obsessive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so,
so Lise, I guess how can listeners take what we've been talking about today and apply it to their own brand?
yeah, well, as we mentioned in the big idea episode, I think that was episode number 2, it's important to understand the trends in your industry when you're working on your brand strategy.
Yeah.
So, if you're in the health, wellness, or beauty industry, you've probably already seen brands in your space talking about self care. But there are many other industries that really haven't explored self care that could possibly build a new narrative around this. So, anything that you sell that's about optimization, that's a ritualistic experience, or that maybe is protective in nature could look at self care as a big idea.
Hmm.
Something that their customers deserve to do for themselves.
Okay, and what about brands that are already in the health, wellness, or beauty industries? What can they do?
Yeah. So, the goal of your big idea is really to change people's mental model, the way that they think. So it's really about finding those gaps in acknowledging what is considered self care. So I suppose, like the vibrator example we gave earlier, Dame and Normal are really changing the way that people think about their self pleasure.
Yeah, it's that new narrative in that space.
Yeah, exactly. The brand Twice is another good example of this. They sell toothpaste, but they've really created this natural SLS free toothpaste that's, I think it's enriched with vitamins.
Yeah,
And they've turned that routine habit into a self care ritual. So they've
yeah,
just changed the story around it. You're still brushing your teeth, but it's become more about self-care and giving yourself the best rather than just, I've got to brush my teeth before I go to bed or when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, and of course, the self care trend is just one of many that a brand could explore when brainstorming their big idea.
Yeah, exactly. So you might find also that there are groups of people who are yet to adopt a self care ritual and who aren't looking after themselves the way that they could. So while, millennial audiences or Gen Z audiences might be faster to adopt this self care trend, I would say, I'm just taking a guess, you'd have to look at the
Yeah,
research, but I'd say like their parents
take a stab.
their parents or grandparents might be more reluctant to develop a self care routine, and maybe there's these markets of people where there's opportunities there to show them how to do that. I don't know, but I suppose that's the kind of line of thinking you could use to try and find those little pockets of people or products or services that you can kind of build this self care narrative around.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps up today's episode. So, we'd love to know what you think of this deep dive into a specific trend and whether you enjoyed unpacking branding from this new angle.
Yes. So please let us know by sending us a DM on Instagram. We're at baker_creative. Or you can email us anytime too at hello@bakercreative.com.au. And just tell us what's keeping you stuck when it comes to branding too. We're always looking for new podcast topics that we know that you're going to find interesting and helpful. So let us know.
Yeah. So, thank you everyone for spending time with us today. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to get new episodes each week. We'll see you next time.